Heidi-ho YouTube, Major Cord here. It's time once again to delve into the box of shame. So I'm going to shut my eyes, reach around, hope that nothing stabs me because that would be really, really bad. Just terribly, terribly bad. Okay, what do we grab? Surprisingly, nothing cut me. What do we have here? This. Oh, this. Okay. This is a cheapo, generic frost knife, which I got for Christmas a couple years ago from a family member who knew I was into the knife hobby and thought that this was a really, really good knife. For those of you that are uninformed, it's not. However, knives like this are really good for those that want to practice things like sharpening, and that's exactly what I did. Before I go into that, we're going to quickly overview the knife. It's a large tactical knife, and in this case, tactical is to be taken lightly because if you really think that you're going to do anything tactical with this knife, you're fucking insane. The handles are some sort of rubbery, plasticky material, but they're really, really cheapy. You know, I can squeeze them, and that's not a good sign because I consider myself quite a weak individual. The liner lock is incredibly thin. Not that you really need an incredibly thick liner lock on any knife, but if you want your tactical blade to be decently strong, I would suggest getting something a little thicker. The lockup, though, is actually surprisingly stout. There's only a teeny bit of left and right movement and absolutely nothing up and down. So I am shocked. I was not expecting that, actually. Your pivot screw is just a standard Phillips head, so you don't need anything special to adjust that. And your other body screws are also Phillips. A little teeny bit of jimping. And the knife is halfway decent and comfortable in your hand. I think I actually have another one of these somewhere in this box. Oh, shit. Maybe, maybe not. I thought I did. I know I owned one at one point or another. That was in my tackle box when I was younger. But this knife, and it is a Frost Cutlery gem, of course, I used to hone my skills, and that's kind of a pun, kind of not, in creating a convex edge. And if my camera will focus, hopefully you'll be able to see that. I took off the V-grind here and using sandpaper on a wood block, put on a convex edge. So, given that this steel is something incredibly soft, probably 440A, maybe something a little softer, it didn't take a ton of labor, but I was able, and I'm quite proud of this work actually, to put on a semi-decent convex edge. And for the first convex grind that I did, I was impressed. And it cuts really well. It is probably, without a doubt, the sharpest knife in the box of shame. And that is entirely due to that convex edge. So there's that. But I have no faith in this knife's ability to actually hold that edge, so I really haven't used it. But having said that, it was an interesting experience to create it. You know, it taught me a lot about how to actually work with a knife on sandpaper in creating a rounded edge versus a V-edge, and the dynamics of freehand sharpening when creating a convex edge. And freehand sharpening is still not something that I'm really too secure on, but I can say that I prefer convexing when doing something freehand than than sharpening to a V-edge, just because it's a lot more forgiving. So yeah, there's this little gem. A really shitty knife if you're using it for any tactical application, but like I said, knives like these, a good reason to keep them around. is just really to practice your sharpening skills, especially if you're going to freehand it. You know, use something like this so you don't destroy one of your nicer blades. You know, the box of shame here is really... That's why I keep a lot of these blades around, because if I ever want to toy around with more sandpaper or a whetstone or, heaven forbid, a belt grinder, that's what they're here for. I don't care about most of these knives in any way, shape, or form, so they are there to be experimented with. And I'd like to think this was a rather successful experiment. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you got some enjoyment out of this, and stay tuned for more. Take care.